This guy over here is a very interesting product. It's not a NAS, it's something else. And it might be very interesting for creators depending on your workflow. So let's take a look at this and why is this guy so special?
Looking for a cheap way to license your Windows? Check out Whokeys through the links in the video description. Make sure to use the code TN20
to get 25% off. Use your preferred payment method including PayPal or bank card. Go to your orders and copy the key.
Paste the license to the activation settings and you're all done. This license is for Windows 10, but you can upgrade it to Windows 11 for free.
Or you can buy Windows 11 Pro key instead.
They also offer Microsoft Office 19 license. Use the same code TN20
to get 25% off.
Check out whokeys.com in the video description below.
So this is called the Terra D6-320. And it's basically just an external HDD or disk enclosure. You don't have to put hard drives in there. You can put something else in there. And there's 6 bays in here. There's something on the side, which we're gonna go take a look in a moment. But that's basically it. On the back here, you can see there's 2 ports. One USB-C port, which is 10 gigabits in speed, and then just the power plug that comes from, the factory. There's 2 fans there as well. They seem to be 80 millimeters. Getting this working is the simplest thing you're ever gonna learn. And all you have to do is plug the power in, connect this USB-C cable that comes within the packet, put some hard drives in. I've got 3 in already. So I'm gonna take the 3rd one here. And when you put in hard drives, this is quick fit. So you don't have to screw anything in. If you don't want to, you can if you wanted to. But right now I'm using this SATA Ironwolf Pro 125. So I'm just gonna use these 2 screws that are included in there to show you that you can just have any disk or hard drive in there. I'm gonna leave this on the side and show you that I've got some hard drives plugged in here. As you can see, I've got a hard drive in there. This is an old Western Digital drive. And then I've got another one here. This is Seagate Barracuda 4TB one. And there's another one in there. And then once the power is on, we'll just hit that power button. And as you can see, we've got some lights on these hard drives. They've come on over there, and there. It shows that, okay, these guys are working. Then I'm gonna take the USB-C cable and I've got a computer here. I'm just gonna plug it in the top panel there. And as you can see, this starts working. Now, I've got my computer open over here. Network locations, we're just gonna take that one off because this is not network attached. So you can't attach it to the network. Although, voila, look at that. Hard drive starting to pop up. First 2 terabytes coming up. More of them are coming in a moment. It might take a little bit longer time at first, but once you have this already plugged in, they will be very, very fast. So all of the 3 now are there. It's just loading some of the data in there. Now, the interesting thing is if you run any of the TerraMaster NAS drives or NAS devices, you can use this as your NAS expansion and perhaps then run a RAID on the NAS on all of these drives. I don't think there is software inside here to actually run any of the RAID in there. So this is basically JBOD, which is just a bunch of disks where you have access to these. And the cool thing is you can just access it over USB-C. So as you can see, I've got these 3 installed there. So I've got something in here. These 2 drives are completely free. Now, another interesting thing about this one is that this is hot swappable drive. So you don't have to turn it on and off. You can just, while it's on, you just plug it in. So let's test this one out here now. That goes in there and plug it in. As you can see, 2 of these are on. And I don't know if this is initialized or not in there. As you can see, I've got that disk over there. So it's unallocated there. So what I'll do is I'm going to delete this volume. So it's disk 7. The easiest way to do this is disk part, go, as you can see, it's disk 7. So list disk 7, select disk 7, type in clean and enter, voila. So now we'll just say initialize disk. There we go. Simple volume, Ironwolf 1 terabyte SSD 125. Next, finish. And it's gonna pop out in a minute. Come on. Okay, for some reason, if I open this, this opens a wrong location. I don't know why is this. Let's see if we unplug this and put it back in there. There we go. Now it turns up. For some reason it wanted to come back in there again. As you can see, there it is. So these are hot swappable. Now let's do a speed test. So I've got one video on desktop here. So what I'll do is I'll open that and we'll go to this one. So this is the fast SSD inside there. And let's see this. As you can see, we're copying about 437 megabytes per second. Now, if I open another drive here, which is exports there, and I'll copy exactly the same thing into there, you can see we're not dropping the speed. As you can see, this is a very slow hard drive. So that's the second one. Let's put something on the third one as well, and see, we're still adding bits here. Put it to all of the 4. Okay, now you can see some of these we're losing a little bit of speed for a second, but we've gone back. So 500, 600 megabytes per second. So altogether, on all of the 6 hard drives, depending how fast they are, or SSDs, you can get 1000 plus megabytes per second through the 10 gigabit Ethernet there, as you can see. So I'll just stop these because I don't want these files in there. Now, if you're perhaps using a lot of hard drives, or you're using maybe something externally, and you've got a bunch of hard drives laying around that you necessarily all the time don't need, but you want nice storage. But if you wanted to like connect to some of the PCs or something like that with this is a great option there. Right now, it's pulling 30 watts from the socket. The power consumption of this one, slightly a lot for what this is. But why don't we turn this down and check what's inside? So you already know that you can just take any of the hard drives out from here. Quick lock system. There is no locking system. There is just like a quick release system kind of that clips out, but you can't really lock it with anything. So we'll open this side because there's something in here. There's two little screws on the back on this side as well. They say 24-hour quick service and respond to all customer queries in 24 hours. So that's interesting. Okay, let's take this off. And what do we see over here? We just see a little logic board. Most of this is empty, which means that we could have put something else in here. There's just the power button on the front in here. Another logic board that goes to this in here. So you've got, as you can see, Terra has made that motherboard or logic board there itself. So in the back of there, that's like where all the SATA will connect. And here we have that. Now I'm surprised that this is such a big, massive thing. We could have had it a little bit smaller, but this is just an empty space. We could have added something more that you wanted there, but that's it. As you can see, there are 2 screws in here as well, because if I'm not mistaken, Terra does do a NAS that has the same kind of chassis, and you can have a bigger board in here with maybe bigger inserts or outputs from the back, and then you can have a NAS of this as well. But they're selling this as just an external disk enclosure. Now the cool thing is powering this on and powering this down is quite fast, but what are the downsides? The downside is the price. This guy costs $300. I can see this here, the D6-320 external hard drive enclosure, USB 3.2 Gen 2, 10 gigabits USB-C, $300. That's quite a bit, I would say. The 4 and the 2 bay one is 100. The 4 bay one is 170, and then the 6 one is 300. So this has the worst disk or bay per price ratio. So that's the only downside. At the same time, I think this is interesting because of what you can do with this. I'm going to leave some of the old hard drives that I had in there, just in there, and then nicely store in this somewhere. And if I need any PC or any laptop or whatever, access these drives, I'm just going to plug it in there and you can unload some stuff in there. Now you could probably run RAID on these drives on Windows if you do that, but then you'll probably have to access it with exactly the same machine, because the RAID will be stored on the system rather than on this here, because this is just an external hard drive, if that makes sense. Or is that how it works? Let me know in the comment section below, how would you use this device? Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.